have you fallen for a gay person? Or as a gay person, have you fallen for a straight person? Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy, or in this case, hopefully, your peace of mind. Let's get straight into the discussion. First and foremost, if you ever find yourself in this situation, essentially falling for, so developing feelings, emotions, for somebody that doesn't have the matching orientation, okay, you're straight, they're gay, and it's a person of the opposite sex, obviously. Here's my take on it. Number one, the first and foremost thing to do, check your availability. Okay, I'm talking about falling for somebody, not necessarily being attracted to somebody, but falling for somebody that essentially cannot respond to you. So in that sense, they can never be available to you. Therefore, the first thing to do is get a therapy session. It doesn't have to be your entire lifetime, okay? You don't really have to break yourself in 1,000 pieces and go through, I don't know what kind of therapy. You can just go for one session and get a bit more insights with the help of a therapist around your availability issues. It might not be the case that you have an availability issue. We're gonna see further down the line why, but you still want to check this one. Secondly, there might be a fetish discussion here to be had. Okay, so, and this one, by the way, it's also the case for both gay and straight people. There is, in some cases, the subconscious shadow there, the little devil inside somewhere in the back of your mind, that would love to try to turn the other person to your orientation. There's a trope in this with the straight woman turning around toward her the gay guy, or the straight guy turning toward him the gay woman. Okay, it's a fantasy. And there's, as a shadow behind it, and an issue of control, manipulation, even denaturing somebody. Okay, so if that is the case, I'm not saying it's mandatory, but when you go for checking into yourself, okay, why did I fall for this person? This might also be the case. And with the help of a therapist, you can really start to get accustomed to this side of yours and learn, with the help of a therapist, to, well, spot it and find ways to live with it. Because annihilate your shadow, I don't know. There are some people that can say that it just disappears, but I'm not so sure about it. If you can do that on your own, awesome. I'd love to learn from you. But in the sense I'm talking about understanding that you have this kind of shadow, maybe it's not the case that everybody has this shadow. And if it ever pops up in your straight relationships, in whatever, how to pick it up and how to really get back to a centered self, where you don't want to control others, make them do stuff that they're not naturally wired to do. This also happens in straight relationships. It doesn't have to be from a straight to a gay person, or a gay person towards a straight person. So really, control, manipulation, denaturing behaviors and mentalities, and a shadow in that sense can have, everybody can have it. The third case, you might actually just want to explore. Okay, this does happen naturally. People, when they start to grow sexually and they start to have a bit of experience, they develop some natural desires to explore with stuff that maybe they haven't done in the past, and maybe they thought it wasn't accessible to them. And in this case, or in this sense, it's possible that both a straight person and a gay person wishes to explore with somebody of a different orientation. So long as you understand that none of the two people can naturally develop romantic feelings for the other, because, you know, if somebody's gay and you're of the different sex than what they're interested in, they're probably not going to develop, aside from a curiosity, they're not going to develop much attraction or romantic feelings for you. So long as you understand this, sure, explore. If this is something that you cannot control nonetheless, or you spot yourself falling for this person, even though you say that you just want to explore, but you are honest with your feelings and you sense what is going on with you, I would say stop, go for counseling, therapy, get some support, because it's not going to end well for you. Fourth case, your gaydar might be off. I've had this one. And there might be many reasons for that one. One, you might be very, very young, and it might be just you're starting to understand sexuality, your sexuality, other people's sexuality, how they display it, how they show an interest, how they hide an interest, and so on. This is part of our sexual maturity process. And sometimes when we're just starting out in life, it can go under our gaydar. Because naturally, especially as we age also, but naturally, we do have a gaydar. We can sense when somebody is attracted to people of the same sex, whether we're talking about men or women, okay? We can sense that. Most of us have a gaydar, and most of the times it actually works. The exceptions here are, especially with people that live in cultures where homosexuality is not allowed, accepted. So those people hide in order to survive. Okay, there's a lot of fear around their sexuality, so they don't display it. So they don't display any signs of interest into people of the same sex. They learn to hide in order to survive, or in order to be accepted, in order to not be cast out of their families, in order to fit into society, and so on. So there is still, in the 21st century, a lot of homophobia, and some people just hide themselves. So they're so good at hiding that others around them can't tell. So they assume that those are straight people. So it might also be this case, like, why did you fall for a gay person? Maybe your gaydar was off, or this person was so good at hiding for the said reasons that you just missed it. And it's no problem. When you find out, maybe you've confessed to this person that you had feelings for them, and they had the trust to tell you that they're not attracted to your sex, I don't know, maybe, or you just find out in some other way, then the first thing to do here is, one, get therapy, obviously, because you need support. You just find out that the person that you've fallen for is not available to you. So I think support groups or one-on-one therapy sessions are really good here. And secondly, you learn to integrate, just like you learn even if, let's say that you were to fall for somebody straight, but they just wouldn't respond. You would still treat it the same. You would have to wrap your entire mind and emotions around the fact that this person cannot respond to you. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they're a jerk or something. No, they just cannot respond to you. So you learn to work your resilience and accept the fact that there is somebody you feel for this person, not just an attraction, but feelings. This person doesn't for you. And it's part of our sexual maturity also, okay? Unreciprocated emotions and unreciprocated attractions, they need to be integrated. So this is also the way to go about it. Lastly, another reason why you may have fallen for somebody especially for women falling for gay men, because this is where we started from. This one is not psychological. This one is just about their nature now. And what I'm trying to say here is this. Firstly, they might be very, very sensitive, and they display that sensitivity. Gay men tend to have more sensitivity on display. Okay, it's not that straight guys aren't sensitive, they just don't display it because of fear of being called a sissy, a pussy, and whatever. A gay guy doesn't necessarily have a problem with that. So he can display more sensitivity. Women can actually fall for that in some cases. Without suspecting the guy is gay, they just fall for somebody that is more sensitive. I can totally understand this one. Secondly, they are much better at displaying their sensual nature in ways that make women feel safe. A lot of guys, straight guys, when they express their sensuality, especially when you're not necessarily attracted to them, it can feel weird somehow. I'll just use this euphemism, weird. A gay guy is more attuned to expressing his sexuality in case the culture didn't forbid it, because there's also that caveat. But he will be better at displaying it just for the sake of displaying it, not because he wants to get something from you. Okay? And that lack of agenda, that genuine lack of agenda, you pick it up so you feel safe. And usually when somebody expresses sensuality, you also tend to respond in that way. So you tend to be more at ease, more sensual around the person, initially not because you're interested in them, but because they are so at ease around you also, because they're not interested either. So, and yeah, this one can totally be attractive to women, and some women can fall for a guy like that, because essentially they can be themselves without feeling threatened. That is a huge, huge thing there. Another thing here, they take care of their body or their attire. And when I researched some material online, I actually found something really, really funny. Some guys actually said it, that, you know, some gay guys are actually better at hygiene than straight guys. I'm not going to say that one. Okay, I'll just leave it up to the straight guys to say that one. But I'll just say that they tend to take better care of their physique and how they dress. Okay? Some gay guys are really, really good with fashion and makeup and all of that. And some women might find that attractive. Next one, still pertaining to the gay guy's nature. They might get women better. Okay, they're better at communicating with women, understanding them, giving them guidance, or just giving them a shoulder to cry on, because they're more attuned to their feminine nature if they live in a place where they can express themselves and they don't have to repress it. So they exercise that, they become more skilled at it, and women can respond to this one sometimes. Okay, they get women better, and women find that attractive, or they can fall for a guy that gets them. I can totally understand that one also. Lastly, for me, maybe there are other things about their nature that I'm missing, but they tend to have cuter faces, you know, like doll faces, or just cuter expressions, doll behavior. It's not something that most women look for, but some women might actually find that also attractive. You know, a pretty face, pretty or cute or just endearing behavior or expressions, or just all kinds of things, you know, small things. Some women might be very, very sensitive to a cute face, a doll face in a guy, or just a really beautiful demeanor overall. It might be very, like, the number of women might be small, but still, that's also worth mentioning here. Now, the solutions here in most cases are to, first of all, go get yourself in check. You know, spot if there are any shadows there, with availability, with control, with your gaydar, or just, you know, you want to explore and you want to make sure that you're exploring safely, meaning not falling for somebody and complicating a situation that was supposed to be light initially. And then you check your resilience. Can you still keep in touch with this person, or do you need to, you know, not have them around? Some people can break their feelings away from the person but still keep in touch with the person. Others cannot. Neither of these are ideal, or neither of them are to be blamed. Everybody needs to be in check or in tune with their resilience. Whatever they need to get back on track, that's what's important. I certainly wouldn't advise anybody to do something against their nature. Just like I wouldn't advise anybody to turn anybody else, try to turn, to pressure them to consider that maybe they're not gay or straight, or maybe they're not straight but they're gay. I would also not pressure anybody to keep in touch with somebody if they feel that it's not helping them heal. Okay, so really respect your own nature, your own resilience. It's the first thing to do here. Otherwise, you're just perpetuating a situation that is obviously not a very happy one. So again, both straight and gay people who find themselves attracted to somebody that can't respond can fall also into this category. They need to break all connections. When I was researching online on YouTube, I've even found people who wrote in comments under some videos that they needed to change their office or work, change town, change phone numbers, like everything. Okay, it depends on the person. Nobody is to be judged here. Everybody needs to do whatever they need to do to get back on track. Lastly, I want to talk about the exceptions, because I've also found this one. I haven't lived this one, but I've found out about it, and I want to share it here. And the source of this are a few materials from Mormon communities, so in the United States of America, where some people get into mixed orientation marriages. What does this mean? One person is gay, the other one is straight, but the gay person marries a straight person and they decide to build a family in that sense. However, that doesn't mean that the gay person is no longer gay. They still identify as gay, they feel gay, they're gay in nature, but in the Mormon communities, they chose to marry a straight person for their reasons. What's also important to note is that, at least according to those Mormon communities, 70% of marriages fail miserably. Okay, 70%, that's a very high percentage there. So most marriages, mixed orientation marriages, do not work. All right? 30% of those marriages that do work, one, it was both people that married because they cared about each other. Yes, gay people can feel romantic and sexual attraction towards straight people of the opposite sex. This can also happen. It's exceptionally rare. It can happen. 30% of those that decided to marry made it happen. And in those interviews, there were some people that said, yeah, we have sex. We're not just roommates. We do have sex. They had kids. But the gay person was very honest about how they felt and their challenges. That doesn't mean to say that they couldn't feel attraction for other gay or other men. But they were just open about the fact that they were gay. They felt attraction sometimes. They didn't act on it. They married a straight person. And we're going to get to how that straight person was, the woman in that case. And they chose to remain in that marriage. In at least one interview, I'm guessing there are more, like 30% of those people. But in one interview, that happy couple had been a family with kids and everything for 15 years. And their children, because they had multiple children, knew that their dad was gay, their mom was straight. And when the reporter asked them, what would you do if one of your kids turned out to be gay? Obviously, they said, yeah, we would support them. Whatever they are, it's important that they be open about it, be free to choose their own path in life. Now, I said that I would also address how the straight partners from the mixed orientation marriages were. I only got to see an example because in other interviews, the people were just talking about their partners, but their partners weren't present. So with the one couple, gay guy, straight woman, the woman was not a classical feminine woman, okay? Pixie cut and a bit more of a tomboy. All right, so they're not the classical partners. I wouldn't say that they were gender fluid, but they were just not displaying the classical features. There's no way a gay guy would actually fall for a very, very classically feminine woman, right? Well, for a bit of a tomboy, maybe. Again, these are exceptions. This is not the rule. Okay? The rule is 70% divorce marriages and people with severe depression and all of that. Like, those need to be said. It's not for everybody. And the reasons that people marry, if they choose the mixed orientation marriages, can vary from they're pressured by their religion or by their families or by society, or they want to have a better social standing, and a straight marriage can definitely do that for them. A gay marriage would never do that for them, at least not in the current times. Some people actually admitted to marrying into mixed orientation marriages because they were lonely, or they just felt they couldn't find anybody. else. And some people married because they genuinely loved, so they had romantic feelings for their straight partner. Yes, some gay guys, exceptions. Some gay guys can have romantic feelings for straight women. Not your classical, traditional, feminine straight woman, though. And I need to say this, I haven't seen interviews with a gay woman and a straight guy marrying. Maybe those exist, I just haven't seen them. Okay? So this is very, very thin information that I'm walking on here. I still wanted to deliver this one as an exception. All right, well, I hope that this one opened up your perspective a bit more about your situation. And totally, I want to encourage you to do your work around your availability, control issues, your gaydar, your safe exploration, and all of that. And just make sure that you take care of yourself and you give yourself the space to process the situation. All right? It's not to be blamed. It's not to be judged. It can happen for both gay and straight people alike. And the thing to do about it in most cases, 70% at least, is to move on. So I hope that this one helps. I would love to hear your comments if you've had a story like this. And if you decide to follow any of the stuff that I shared here. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.